gave you the impetus to come back to Anderson here and start a restaurant?
Well, I mean, so I grew up here, obviously. Grew up here until I was 18 years old, swore I'd never come back. But having been in Charleston for over 20 years, competition is super stiff down there. I thought I could bring something to Anderson that no one had ever seen before. Just a little bit of the Charleston flair to the cuisine here in Anderson.
Well, before we get too much into that, remind people who your family here, because some people will know your family.
Yeah, my father's John Farr. My mother's Evelyn Farr. They owned and operated Farr Music for many decades. My family's been in this town for at least 3 to 4 generations on both sides. My grandfather owned Rice Farr Music, and my father also owned Carpet Fashions as well. So we've been around for a while.
What was your vision for bringing a restaurant to Anderson? You knew the town, you just hadn't been here in a while, but you came back. What was your vision to bring here?
Well, I wanted to do food that people were familiar with, but with a little bit more finesse, I think is probably the word I'm looking for. Not just throwing it on a plate. I wanted to bring nice presentations, food that looked good and artful. That's what I am at heart, an artist. I try to, do that through painting. I try to do that through food and plate design. I did pastry for 18 years, so plate presentation's extremely important there. So just introduce some things. I'm not trying to educate anyone in food. Moreover, I'm just trying to introduce new things and use all these local ingredients, which weren't really difficult for me to source here. There's so many farmers, bringing me things right now that it's just fantastic. I'm kind of overwhelmed. I didn't really realize the farming community was so gigantic here.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Whatever I'm cooking in the moment. You've got to, my philosophy is you've got to kind of put love into everything. And if I have something that's a favorite, you'd say signature dish or something along those lines. I don't really have one. I'm very passionate about what I'm cooking. I don't put anything on the menu that I don't stand behind 100%.
And what can people expect to find? Tell people, what hours are and what you serve. Let's just talk about the menus for a little bit. You serve breakfast too, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's just start with breakfast and go to lunch and then dinner.
So we've got breakfast menu. We have shrimp and grits, pancakes and eggs. We're going to be running French toast as a special. Just regular eggs and bacon and ham, things of that nature.
The famous praline bacon.
The famous praline bacon. They would not let me go without that. So, I've embraced that wholeheartedly. You'll see it on my lunch menu as well.
What days do you serve breakfast?
Breakfast is served Tuesday through Friday, and we open at 7 a.m. and we stop service at 10. And so Saturday and Sunday we do a brunch, and that's all the way from 8 to 3. And then lunch is served Tuesday through Friday, and that is, sometimes I get confused, it's 11 to 3. And then on dinner, it is 4:30. We open up a little bit earlier. We open up at 4:30, and we serve our last reservations at 9.
Okay, let's talk about the lunch menu then. What's on the lunch menu?
Lunch menu has some small plates, so you can try different things. A lot of people, entree-sized salads, which we're happy to cut in half. So we do those as well. We have like a fresh berry salad with goat cheese and local pecans candied. We have what's called my favorite salad, which is shaved fennel, arugula, navel oranges sectioned with a citrus vinaigrette and Split Creek Farms feta. We have a pulled pork sandwich. We have a fried chicken club. We have a hamburger as well. We right now in season we have a cucumber soup, chilled cucumber soup, and so that's kind of been a big hit for people right now. Nice and something refreshing, and I'm getting cucumbers locally here, which are just tasting fantastic right now.
And then let's move to the dinner menu. What's on the dinner menu?
Dinner menu, I have a couple meat dishes which are selling really, really well. I have a, goodness.
I can eat it, don't worry.
Thank you. I have a short rib with a red wine reduction sauce or a bordelaise. I have a New York strip, and that is, both of them are served with garlic mashed potatoes. One of them's sauteed spinach, and the other is served with floury purple kale. Again, this local, it's South Carolina grain, we'll say that. And it is done with brown butter, brown garlic. The seafood, the fresh fish changes kind of depending on what I can get with, but that fresh fish is going to be served on a succotash, like a summer succotash, with corn, English peas, peppers, onions, and it's tossed in white wine butter sauce. That's been a big hit. We obviously have the shrimp and grits as an entree, a few smaller plates with a crab cake, pimento cheese, which is kind of my take on pimento cheese, and it's a little bit different, a little bit sharper. I'm buying really high quality cheese to do that.
And then that takes us to brunch. I just want to make sure we cover all this so
Yeah.
people are watching this want to know what they can eat. That's the first question I get. What do they have?
Yeah, so brunch is basically a cross between your breakfast and lunch menu. So a lot of the highlights, we've got a few salads on there, the cucumber soup, the French onion soup, which is kind of a big hit, and then all of the breakfast items as well, and then I think one or two sandwiches.
And all these menus are online, right?
Yes, sir. If you go to restaurant151.com, all the menus are online there.
And where did you come up with that name?
So we are sitting at 151 East Church Street, and a lot of things got tossed around. At one point, we were going to call it So Far with one R, play off my name. Not everybody liked that, and I just got aggravated. So I just said, I'm going to make it a number. I was going to call it 6 and 20 for 6 and 20 Creek because I grew up on 6 and 20 Creek. But there's also a dump site called 6 and 20 Dump, so probably didn't think that was a good idea as well. So we settled on Restaurant 151 at the Bleckley, and I like it. It works.
How long have you been open now?
We have been open 1 week today.
Okay. What's the response been so far from the community?
Well, we were almost fully booked on Friday for dinner. So we've seen, I've seen a lot of familiar faces, a lot of friends that I grew up with, mothers of people that I grew up with. The reception's been fantastic, and Steve K and his staff here at the hotel have been nothing but supportive, and his wife Patty they'd come down and wait tables if I needed them to. They're just fantastic people that are really backed me up and made this transition pretty easy.
Now, do y'all do catering as well? Or?
We're not doing catering at the moment because the kitchen's relatively small and refrigeration's limited. I'm trying to keep the menu small. I'm going to be rotating it relatively soon, bringing in some new things, taking away some new things, depending on seasonality and availability. So that's kind of my take on that. I don't want to commit to anything that I know I can't execute. Right now, I'm just trying to execute the restaurant.
There seems to be a trend now towards, I know COVID sort of kicked it off, but a lot of people are saying this trend towards smaller menus is going to stick, and that a lot of people really like that.
I think, the smaller changing menu where you have your staples and things of that nature are big. I have a salmon dish that I'm really happy with. It's a barbecue salmon dish that's on my dinner menu with Carolina gold rice and braised greens as well. And it's, I love it. I love to eat it, and I encourage everybody to try it at least once.
Smaller menus.
Yeah,
why that's becoming attractive. I mean, I think one of the articles I read in the New Yorker said that I want to know what you have that's good, not what all is on the menu. What all can you cook?
Right. So it gives a smaller menu gives us the ability to focus in on local produce and local things of that nature. And somebody asked me about the menu the other day, and I said I'm kind of already bored with it. I want to do something different. It gives us the ability.
After 1 week.
Yeah. Well, it's I'm a
that
chef.
Creative side you're talking about.
Yeah, it gives you the ability to create, and when something pops in your head, to execute it. And sometimes those aren't always winners, but you've got to try them, work them, tweak them. That's part of being a chef. It's part of being a restaurateur.
What's the biggest changes you've noticed in Anderson coming back after being gone so long?
There's actually homeless people in Anderson now. They weren't here when I left 30 years ago. The traffic's about the same. I mean, it used to take me, 45 minutes to go 4.5 miles in Charleston. So I love the fact that even at rush hour, it's a max 15-minute drive to work. I love that part of it. I love the fact that I know the people that are coming into my restaurant. I have ties to them, and they know who I am, or they know who my father is. I told my wait staff when we first started out, I said, 90% of the people that come into this dining room either know me, my father, my mother, or Steve K. or Patty K. And, so everyone's a VIP. And that's the way I've operated from the get-go. Everyone's always a VIP because, it's still a small town. It's crazy to me. With all the new development and things, I still know a lot of people that walk through the door. I still know the majority of people who walk through the doors of my restaurant.
I think you'll find, and you've already found, that when you left here, I'm not sure very many people would have been as adventurous when they're eating. When they went out, that'd be barbecue or chicken or meat and three or something. Now they're looking for something a little different. I guess you found that to be a...
That's something I picked up on, my parents would go to Greenville once a week, if not twice a week, to eat, just to get something other than meat and three or, the other 2 or 3 restaurants that they go to. I just see that where there's a gap in this market right now, and I hope I'm going to be able to fill it with something that's just a little bit higher end, something that's really focusing in on chef-driven, food-driven restaurant.
And being small and lean, you can make quick changes and quick shifts and do whatever you want, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's nice to be the owner. I know the owner appreciates me. So I can do my own work and make changes, and the buck stops here, so there's nobody to explain why I want to do anything. I just do it. So that's a nice perk of the job.
What do you eat when you go home? You cook all day. What do you eat when you go home?
Man, I usually eat here before I go home. I try not to have the more junk food I have in the house, the easy stuff to go get, the fatter I get. So I try to eat healthy, just like I'm cooking. I use a lot of butter and cream. I won't lie, but at the same time, I eat kale salads and try to be as healthy as I possibly can, because Lord knows I ate enough junk food and delivery food during COVID. I don't need that in my life anymore.
What is the chef's guilty pleasure, though? If you're
Chocolate, cheese, 2 things I cannot live without: chocolate and cheese. Yeah, so our hours are Tuesday through Friday. We're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast is served from 7 a.m. until 10 a.m. Lunch is served from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and dinner is served from 4:30, and our last reservation is at 9. On the weekends, we have brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. That's from 9 to 3. We're closed for dinner on Sunday, but on Saturday we are open for dinner, and that is from 4:30 till the last reservation at 9. On Mondays, we are open for breakfast only, and the breakfast is the famous Bleckley buffet.
Yeah, that was a question I was getting. Was it going to continue? So that is a Monday special.
We're going to continue it on Mondays, and that also gives me a little breathing room so I can get bookwork done and things that I don't particularly like doing that don't involve cooking.
And if you get people coming in, some of your regulars have some ideas for something they'd like to try, or are y'all game for experimenting with new things?
I've had multiple emails from people. It's like, can you do this? Can you do that? And generally speaking, my motto is, yes is the answer, what's the question? If you're a vegetarian, if you're gluten-free, if you have celiac, if you have an allergy, please feel free to call me. The phone number here is 864-318-0386, and feel free to contact me directly. I can tell you what I can do for you. I can tell you what seasonal vegetables I have. I love every opportunity I get to be creative. So you know what you're walking into as far as a vegetarian or someone with celiac. I try to accommodate everyone.
In the kitchen, you mentioned, you just told me the artwork on the wall here is your artwork. How much time do you spend painting?
It's my go-to for downtime. It's like meditation almost. It's a stress reliever, and it's something I started doing about 20 years ago. To pass time, I've self-taught. I never took an art lesson in my life, so I just kind of figured it out.